Good evening and welcome to Information Please, your Peoria Public Library on the air, bringing you information about your library and your community. And this evening my guest is Stacy Peterson with the library, and she's going to tell us about the Rennick Juried Art Show. Hey Stacy.
Hey Tricia, how are you?
I'm great. Good. Well, this is exciting having been at the library for a while, but we've got an even more interest in it because you're also representing the Peoria Historical Society. Yes. This is their show, but they've shared the glory with the library for a few years. Mm-hmm. So can you tell us a little bit about the Rennick Show?
Sure, I'd love to. The Rennick Show is really interesting. As you kind of alluded to, the relationship with the Historical Society and the library is one that is a long time collaboration.
Yes.
The Rennick Art Show, now in its 49th year, has not always been at the Peoria Public Library, but it's been there a considerable amount, especially during the last few years.
Yes.
I recall when I moved to town, the Rennick was, I believe, upstairs on the second floor, mm-hmm. and before the renovation.
It was very small then, because we didn't have space.
Yeah, there really wasn't available space. And I don't know how many people really knew about it. And then mm-hmm. they were moved because we had to redo the building. Mm-hmm. And I believe they spent a year, I want to say, in the Methodist atrium.
They did. They had it at the Methodist atrium, but it was shorter. It was only for a week or two. And,
yeah.
And people couldn't see it as easily.
Not as accessible. The hours weren't, probably not the best venue, but a good venue for the time. Mm-hmm. And when we reopened with our gorgeous art gallery, they wanted to come back. So last year was our first kind of the inaugural bringing mm-hmm. back of the Rennick Art Show.
And it's kind of been a rebirth, not only for the main library, but for Rennick.
Yes.
As it has been for many artists, because we have that beautiful gallery now that you can do spectacular things in. We could never do things like receptions before. We even had trouble having artists drop off their work.
Right.
I can remember the days when we had to set up a table in the middle of the downtown library for people to walk in and hand off their art, which if you've got a big canvas, that's a problem.
That's a huge problem. And then just securing a piece like that is a problem. And, you know, we've definitely stepped up the game with the gallery space and the available space that we have to house and to store and to prep the artwork. Last year, we had 48 pieces by 25 artists, and that was the most submissions that the Rennick Show had had. Mm-hmm. And again, as in years past, it's a variety of mediums. We have, in fact, they expanded it a little bit to 3D.
Yes, because we have our cases.
We have cases.
We couldn't display those things before, and now we can.
Yeah, so we've got everything from oils and acrylics and charcoals and drawings and prints, printmakers, wood block cuts, glass pieces. Photography is always quite large. As long as the work is depicting a central Illinois scene, and that's within 100 miles really of Peoria, then it's really fair game to come and submit it and put it into the show. So
yeah,
we're really excited about it.
And how do people enter?
People can contact, they can download the form for entry either off of the library website or off of the Historical Society website, and that's peoriahistoricalsociety.org. The co-chair, Marjorie Schwabel, who's also a very talented local photographer, is going to be in charge of taking in all of the art on April 26th at the library. So between 10:30 and 5:30, anybody can drop off their work with a completed form. Mm-hmm. There is a nominal charge for entry, and that goes to serve the Peoria Historical Society. They can even enter 2 pieces if they'd like to. And then Marjorie and her talented team will hang the pieces, and then June, I believe it's June 5th, they can be picked up after the duration of the show.
All right, so you can go on to the summer art fair circuit. They'll be available for that.
And they really stand not only to get a lot of visibility being in this show, but the prize money is $300.
Yeah,
and
that's pretty good.
That'll buy a few tubes of paint. And, you know, maybe a canvas or 2.
Yeah, pay for your framing.
Yeah, exactly. Pay for your framing.
That's one thing we should point out is we have that wonderful hanging system now, but it does require that your piece have a wire on the back of it.
Exactly.
So it does need to be framed or mounted or something somehow so that there's a wire across the back that will work with our hanging system.
I'm so glad you said that because we've really learned a lot in the last year.
Yes, you're the expert at the hanging system.
Oh my gosh, I think I have nightmares about framing at this point. But
yes.
Yeah, and actually last year, the pieces, I think we're dealing with such a nice caliber of artists who are used to hanging their pieces. The pieces showed up, they were beautiful with this show. I know that Ms. Bebo, who was our judge, had a very difficult time looking at the pieces. She just felt that the talent was overwhelming, and it was very, very difficult for her to pick one. So we're excited to see what this year brings.
Yeah, it'll be very, very
Oh,
exciting.
and also new for this year. Last year we approached the Historical Society and we'd said, would you like to have a reception? And you mentioned this.
Yeah, and that's something we could never do before. It had been talked about, but there just wasn't any space. We had that, on the old library, we had that funny little second floor meeting room with the plastic dividers down the middle.
Yeah, those accordion walls.
Walls, and it just wasn't a very nice space, but we have wonderful places to do that.
Wonderful places. And last year, I think they were so hesitant to commit to a reception because they weren't sure what the art show was going to look like in its space. And then some of the artists attended a reception that we had later and really enjoyed the way we'd set up the room and the fact that it gave us a chance to not only acknowledge the local artists, but the partnering groups. So we're very excited that on May 13th from 1 to 3 in the gallery space, we're going to be hosting the reception. You can meet and mingle with the artists. You can learn more about the Historical Society. They really dovetail nicely with the Peoria Public Library, and to have that housed in the local history section will really complement both organizations in a lovely way.
Yeah, it is, because you can go right there into our local history department while you're there, view some art, and a lot of this art could be anything from architecture to depictions of events in Central Illinois' past.
Flora or fauna from our area. We see a lot of that. And it really is amazing. It gives not only accomplished artists a chance to go out and show their work, but we have so many talented people who have art as a hobby or as a second life. And
don't do it much,
right?
But do it a little bit and are good. And we'd like to see your things. So even if you've just got that one piece that you're ready to show, this is a great way.
Bring it on down.
Bring it. And you can bring your whole family to the reception then, and there's your piece, and how exciting that is.
And that is a thrill, isn't it? I mean, that's a thrill to see a piece of artwork hung in a gallery. The family gets to see it. You're getting recognized. It's fun to watch everybody kind of really enjoy that moment.
Yeah. Well, you have another event associated with this. Don't you have a walk and talk?
We do. We have a gallery walk and talk, and that's going to be on May 8th. It's usually our gallery walk and talks are on the second Wednesday of the month at 2 o'clock. The duration of the tour is about 30 minutes, and Marjorie has said that she would like to be able to attend and perhaps lead the tour. She did last year, which gives us, you get not only the perspective of somebody who's affiliated with the Historical Society, and their mission is to preserve and celebrate Peoria's story. So you have all of that knowledge, and then you have the perspective of not only a local artist, but somebody who lives in a historic district, who's been in this world of the Renwick Art Show for many, many years. And she can offer a wealth of information and perspective that I feel nobody really else can.
Yeah, so she's a unique individual in this process.
Definitely.
And can really talk about it well. So.
And as with all of our tours, those tours end in our Friendly Finds book room, which is open until 4 o'clock. Best deals in town for books. So,
and buy an art book for $1 or $2.
Those art books are incredible. They're heavy to move, but boy, for $1, they are hard to beat.
Yeah, they're wonderful. They're absolutely wonderful.
They are.
Not to mention, it's almost summer, so time to stock up on those paperbacks that you can leave behind when you go traveling.
That's right. That's right. Read and ditch.
It's a great use for it. But, okay, so the gallery and our Renwick show is a real centerpiece for us in the month of May. But I know we have so much else going on, and people could just come to the library every day, all day. And if you're not reading, you can listen to music, you can watch a movie, you can attend a lecture, so many things, and the kids too. So why don't we plunge in, and you can tell us all the great things we have going on.
Should we do kids first? Because we've got a lot of kids stuff.
The kids.
There, as always, we have our story times. I mean, we have story times in all locations, at all times, for all ages. And when I've popped my head into any of our story time rooms, they look very well populated. And not only do they have the same repeat people at each branch, I'm seeing a lot of branch hoppers that like to go to different story times. So for the full exhaustive schedule of events of all those story times, they can, of course, go to the website or pick up kids' events or passages. A series that has really been picking up steam is our Kids Rock series.
Oh, yes.
It's been a lot of fun. This month, Kids Rock is always a music program that is geared towards children. And we've been very lucky. All of our performers so far have been very interactive, and the parents really get into it too. So it's always on a Saturday at 1 o'clock. Different Saturdays depending on the month. This month it's going to be the 4th. So it's going to be the first Saturday of the month at 1 o'clock.
Okay.
It's a fella named Kenny Ahern. And Kenny plays the saxophone, so he's very musical, but he also juggles. He gets on top of a unicycle, and his theory is to live, is to laugh, is to learn. So he's going to be incorporating music and juggling and performing for an hour. And I have yet to see kids walk out and not get really excited about it.
Oh, yeah.
So they get very keyed up, and then they go out and they check out books, and the parents get involved. So Kenny Ahern came to us by way of Uncle Mike Schneider, who was our performer for the pint-sized polkas. He's not my uncle, but he's everybody's uncle.
He's everybody's uncle.
And he played in March, and that was polka music for wee little people, and the kids really loved it. You could tell, though, that Peoria maybe not, the kids aren't as familiar with polka music as the kids in Wisconsin are.
Yeah.
It took them a while to get into it. Then once they did, it was...
And maybe they'll want to go to Oktoberfest now. Hear more polka music. Yeah.
So we've got Kenny Ahern. So that'll be Kids Rock. Also, we have Children's Book Week. It's going to be, I believe it's the May 12th. So it's kicked off on Mother's Day. It's National Children's Book Week, and at the McClure branch specifically, they're going to be pointing out selected books. You can read them, do a craft, and then take a little craft home with you for that whole week. We encourage people to stop into McClure and celebrate that. They're going to have a puppet story time down at Lincoln, which they do every once in a while. They have that fantastic puppet house, and the staff really does a good job.
Yeah, we have our puppeteer Mary Ortiz that many people are familiar with, that just is great at doing puppet shows.
Yeah, she's wonderful, and that's hard to do.
Yeah, it is. Well, we should point out too that the voting for the Children's Choice Book Award and Teen Choice Book Award goes through May 11th at any of the
library
locations.
Just look for those plastic,
like see-through
boxes, the branches. Cast your vote.
And you get a sticker that says, I voted.
I voted. That's right. So, you can vote and have your voice heard all the time.
Yeah.
Oh, 2 other exciting events that we're doing at North Branch. We've got our Legos Club. That will be the 17th, and that's always very popular. We've done that at a couple of other branches. But we also have a new club for family history. And
that one's going well.
Oh, my gosh. You know, kind of building on the popularity of local history and how many people the Genealogy Society use
I started doing genealogy at that age, though, and I loved it, and it's been a lifelong passion for me. But I was in middle school when my dad started saying, oh, let's, make a tree. And I know a lot of the kids do it in school, too.
Yeah.
Where they'll make, start making a simple family tree. But
they're taking it to a different level up there.
Yeah, they are using our resources, and the parents come and help the kids, and the kids learn to do the research, which my feeling is, for me, that was a great starter on just learning to do research in general.
Yes.
And so, and the thrill of the curiosity and finding the answer, the joy of the treasure hunt. And I think it helps kids learn to do research in a fun way so they're ready when they have to do those research papers.
You're right.
In a few years.
You're right. It incites their curiosity.
And learning
to
document.
They find the value in it. Oh, yeah, the documentation.
Where did you find this, so you can go back and prove it to someone.
Right. And if they can't find it, I always say there's more than one way to skin a cat. And in genealogy, that's the truth. So what resource, what newspaper, what periodical?
Go at
really
it every
neat.
different direction.
Yeah.
But it's fun, and it's nice to be able to use our local history resources away from just the department at Maine.
It is.
And at the North Branch. And so that's kind of an eye-opener that anybody could be doing this at any branch. Lakeview.
At home, through some of our online databases, certainly you can have access to some of those materials.
We have Heritage Quest you can use at home.
Ancestry, I think you have to use only in the library locations.
Right.
But again, if you're at home, summer, it's hot, you don't want to leave the comfort of your air conditioning, do a little genealogy.
Yeah.
Check out a digital book.
Yeah. We have those historic map programs too.
Yes.
Which are great because you can be looking up, well, somebody lived in this town and it doesn't exist anymore. But we actually have an online map database. You're at home. You can look up and find it.
And how great would it be if you got into something like local history or genealogy as a kid, and then when school time rolls around, you already have a project started? Boy, wouldn't that be a good use of time?
Exactly, exactly.
So we're excited about that. That's at North Branch, and be on the lookout for that local history. Size is a little bit limited just due to materials that they make, but so far they haven't hit capacity. You can always call them and ask them. They're good. We also have... it's May, so it's Mother's Day.
Yes.
So we've got a Mother's Day film series. So on Monday nights, with the exception being the last Monday in May, because the library's closed, it's Memorial Day, the pool's going to be open that day, we're going to be showing mom or caregiver-themed movies. So that's going to be Freaky Friday. I'm trying to get the original Freaky Friday with Jodie Foster, because I think that's kind of a Disney classic. But if I can't get that one, we'll do the Jamie Lee Curtis one, which is excellent. And then a movie that I think shows the other side of momhood is Mr. Mom with Michael Keaton. So the career gal goes off and the father's home to fend for the children. And then Baby Boom, the single mom with Diane Keaton, and how that was impactful. So we're trying to show some different perspectives on a Monday night at the North Branch. Fantastic big screen. We'll have some treats there.
Well, and it's a lot of fun to get out of the house, and no matter how big your TV is, it's not that big.
The sound isn't that good at home.
And
you're right. That's right. It really is a great facility. We take a lot of use out of it, but it's a great place to watch movies for certain.
It is. Well, that'll be fun.
That'll be fun. And then, of course, Music in the Mackenzie.
Yes.
So Music in the Mackenzie this year for this month is going to be very, very exciting. We have a solo artist, and it's a female solo artist. We only have a couple of these scheduled right now. This is Amanda Shires, and she's from Texas. We were very lucky to get her early. And I say that because she performed recently at the South by Southwest Festival in Austin, Texas, which is a huge showcase. 30,000 people show up to find out who's on the scene, who's the next up-and-comer, and she performed. And we already had her. So we have that contract booked. She will be here the 19th of May at 2 o'clock to 4 o'clock at the North Branch. And the Music in the Mackenzie series is always designed to be kind of a more intimate setting, small group, it's not loud, and this really gives you a chance to sit down and visit with the artists. All of our artists have been agreeable and fun to talk to, and they want to mingle with the crowds, and they usually give a break in the middle so people can come up and talk, and we're seeing a lot of repeat patrons to this, but we have room for more. So
yeah, there is room, and it's a lovely way to spend a Sunday afternoon. Have some lunch somewhere, maybe go out, drop in, or just drop in. And we might be the place where all the great new artists are going to come from. Did you play in Peoria?
Right.
At the Peoria Public
Library. That's right.
We have had some wonderful musicians and have a lot more planned for this year.
Oh my gosh, the rest of the year is going to be so exciting, and I know that you guys have been wonderful about getting that information up.
But we can still always tell people more if you want to do a tickler here.
We can. Well, we've got, after May, we're going to have Catfish Keith, who is a blues artist. He plays a lap pedal blues guitar. He's won several awards. He travels extensively. We're going to have Brooks Williams, who is originally from Michigan, but he's been living in the UK. He's a solo artist, guitar player. We have Rachel Davis, who is another talented woman.
Yeah.
She is going to be playing her solo show. She's traveled extensively internationally, but she also learned to play at the feet of her parents when she was a child growing up in Michigan. And out of that kind of musical collaboration, they have a group called Lake Effect, and they will be playing as part of Kids Rock later in the year.
Oh, that'll be fun.
It'll be really fun and very unusual to have the same performer doing two completely different acts. And in December, we're bringing back Jared Bartman, who, if anybody is from the Peoria area or familiar with the music program at Bradley and has visited any of our coffee shops, they've probably seen Jared Bartman. He and his wife are both very musical. He's bringing in a string quartet, and we kind of thought that for December, that'd be a really nice way to bring home some
kind of a nice holiday.
Local performances.
Yeah, wonderful.
So all they have to do is look for that Music in the Mackenzie tab on the website or
our
bookmarks.
Yeah, it's down in the footer on our webpage. Right there, you click and you go to the whole list.
Corresponding web addresses. So listen to them. Find them on YouTube. See if it's something you like. Send it on to your friends.
And you're only investing a couple hours, and it's free.
And it's free. It's free. And if you don't like it, you can always leave and check out a book and then we'll see you next month.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. This is one show you could pop in and pop out. There's plenty of standing room in the back, so you can listen to a song or two and see what you like.
Yep.
Yeah, wonderful. Okay, so back to May.
Back to May. We've got, this is something I just thought of. Speaking of musicians and how they have their websites, it seems like everybody is either selling something online or they have a blog or maybe they run a small business and they want to know how to maximize that web space, that web presence. On May 15th, we have a gentleman who used to work for Rutman Marketing. So he's seen the transition of marketing from direct mailings to print, and now he is really good at SEO, which I didn't know what it was, search engine optimization. So if I type in the Peoria Public Library in Google, what's going to come up, how many hits am I going to get? He is the master at this and social media. And he is graciously going to do a presentation on how to get the most out of your website and marketing with the internet. Now,
great.
His name is Stephen Strait. He's also a local artist. He wrote a book about the bicycle races in Peoria. But he has helped me a great deal just to kind of demystify the social media landscape as it is. And if he can explain it to me, and with my limited technical background, I'm pretty sure he can explain it to anybody. Yeah, so come on out to North. We're going to have it up on the big screen. He is building in time for question and answers because he's anticipating all kinds of questions, and he can answer the easiest questions to the most challenging. So I encourage anybody who has a business or a blog or has something that they want to promote, come out. I mean, spend an hour and
learn how.
Yeah. Free consultation.
And it doesn't even have to be your business, although this would be very beneficial for small businesses and the people who go, oh, I don't get all that, social media stuff. Or the not-for-profits. We have so many not-for-profits in town that dabble a little bit, but don't quite go far enough or do enough, and
they don't know how to make that connection, how to make their name come up more.
Yeah, what words do I need to use? What do I put in this box? That kind of thing. So that'll be great information.
And something a little different. We haven't done a lot of techie stuff lately.
No,
so
we
this
haven't.
will be a nice thing to offer to people.
To everybody in general. We should point out, though, too, that after you see his presentation, you're probably going to want to get more information, and we have got all the books.
All the books.
And I think we probably even have some DVDs, that kind of thing, that you can look up what you want to do or how to do it and learn more. So it's a gateway, and then we'll back you up with everything else you need to know.
That's right. We'll give you the info and then send you with more information so you won't be spinning your wheels at home lost.
Yes, exactly. And we do have, I'm not sure how many people are aware that we do have our small business connection on our website that you can access from home or your office.
We do.
If you're, there's a lot of people out there that are freelancers or have a small shop of some sort, or, anything from a hairdresser to car repair to actually doing web design. But you can use those small business tools from
free.
Anywhere, with your library card.
Library card. Get that library card.
And you're good to go.
Yeah.
All right. So also in May, we should have some more things here.
We've had this really popular Skyping book club with our friends of Clonmel.
Yes.
We're going to have it again. So if anybody's not familiar with that, Peoria has a couple of sister cities. One is in Germany, one's in Ireland, and our group that represents Peoria, they're called the Friends of Clonmel. And the Friends of Clonmel approached us a while ago. They've built a relationship with the librarian in Clonmel and their staff and their patrons, and they wanted to do a book club, and this would involve Skyping and seeing them at the same time, so actually reading the same book and having the discussion in real time, but using the library's Wi-Fi connection, and we would help facilitate it because they didn't have a space that would allow for them to do this.
Yes.
I think this is probably the fifth or sixth one that we've done.
Yeah, because they started over a year ago.
Over a year ago, and they meet every other month.
Well, I think it's every third month.
Every third month.
Yeah.
They take turns alternating the title, so that's been very interesting too. And this month it's going to be in the forest. It's going to be on May 21st. The author is Edna O'Brien, so they can check out the book now, read it.
Yep.
And you do not have to be a member of Friends of Clonmel to be a part of this group.
No.
I mean,
and you don't even have to have finished reading the book.
You don't. And the conversation and just seeing the people in Ireland, it's really one of the most exciting things that we've done.
Yeah.
Except for last time we had tech problems, and their tech guy was literally at the pub down the street, and they had to call him out of the pub so he could come down and help us. And so, yeah, we still had that interaction.
That's
but we
fun.
got everything
Because for
working.
them it's evening, and for us it's early afternoon.
It is.
But the exciting thing is some of that group's going to Clonmel, and they're taking Peoria Public Library blue bags with them.
They are. They're spreading the word. And what's the other thing that's really exciting is that we do our portion of the Skype in a private room, or it's one of our meeting rooms. So it's a little bit more enclosed.
Yeah.
Their space is out in the middle of their library, and their library has evening hours. So you can frequently see a looky-loo or one or two come by and want to know what's going on, and the teenagers in Ireland get very excited to
we're
see people
Skyping.
in America. So, even
That's
if you
fun.
come just to experience it, they are a fun group of people, and it's just a really nice way to spend an hour.
Yeah, great.
on a Tuesday
Great
at the library.
fun. Yeah. So, what else? Do we miss anything yet?
Oh, let's see. We've got so many other things. Story times. You will be seeing, and I know this will be covered later, you'll be seeing some of our staff members at different schools. We're getting ready for summer reading, and that's all I'm going to say about it, because I know it's going to be described in detail.
In detail.
But
you'll also see our staff members at all the end of the year Look It's My Book events.
you do, and that's a great program that has partnered with us. How long has that partnership gone on, would you say?
It's been since it started, and I'm not sure how old they are now, but if anybody who's not familiar with Look It's My Book, we have several women. Janet Roth is the founding spirit behind that, who read about communities where they completely turned reading scores around simply by children who don't have any books in their home being given a book.
Yeah.
And so they go to each school, and the kids get a book, and we give them a bookmark that encourages them to come to the library. So
It really is her passion. what
it is
she
her
has
passion,
done.
and she's done amazing things, and people might want to help with that effort, but it's kids who have never owned a book, and there's not a single book in their house. They get a book of their own, and that can light the spark.
It
So,
can. It can change the world.
Yeah.
It really can.
Yeah.
So you'll see us out at some of those events as well.
Yeah. Stacy, thanks so much for coming. I hope we've lit a few sparks here today with
I
the
hope
Rennick
so.
show and everything else. So, okay.
Thank you.
As you can see, there's so much going on at Peoria Public Library, so we'll help you look at our website or pick up passages and join us for these many exciting free events that are sure to expose you and your family and your friends to the wonderful world of the library. We'll see you next week on Information Please.